army. Hello, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington, and I am here in the studio for Podalooza. And if you don't know what Podalooza is, we'll make sure that it's in the comments section. It's one of the best events where you can meet podcasters and get yourself interviewed on several podcasts all at one place. So here I am with Melody, who's an author and a colonel's daughter. So, Melody, tell me a little bit about yourself and your journey, and then we'll get into a long discussion.
Well, I put the whole story in my book, Truth Found Me. That's what this is behind me. And I did so many things and went so many places. But it starts with my mom and dad. Dad was a colonel in the army. I was an army brat. I moved, probably went to 12 schools in my 12 years of schooling. And we just moved every year or every 2 years. And so lifetime friends from back then haven't been part of what I knew. I just knew I wanted to travel and always wanted to see stuff. So when I finished college and I went off to Florida and got a degree in advertising, went to work as an art director for an advertising agency, I really thought I had arrived. And I was very thrilled with my accomplishment, very proud of, what had happened in my life. But you know what? I probably was an inaugural member of the Me Too Club. That's what you know today as someone who's been attacked by your boss.
That's tough. Yeah.
And it wasn't a big advertising agency. It was him and me. And so I realized that if you maybe have a title of an art director of the advertising agency, but that's also someone that does all the art. They also make the coffee, clean the floors, and everything else. And every time I went in there to show him some artwork or something, his hands would go places I
Oh,
didn't want them to go. So anyway, I promised him I would do a year with him, and I didn't back out on that promise. But pretty soon there was other girls coming in with their portfolios, and they had a job that I was glad to walk out of. Didn't
yeah.
have to do the whole year.
So sorry you had such a tough, bad experience. Yeah. Yeah, I know the advertising world has those kind of moments, and there's some people. And then when you think of how advertising agencies are molding minds of young people and how we're influencing people and the people behind it, are people who we've witnessed. That is very unfortunate. But you are a strong woman. You were able to pull through that experience, and I applaud you for that. Because many people would not get over such a situation, and then you were able to turn it around, and you were able to produce a book. I always say that when you could take a bad situation and then give it back to the world, it really makes all the difference in the world. So tell me about this great book, and then we'll talk about all the travels. So Truth Found Me. So tell me all about it, and what made you write this book.
Well, the subtitle is A Life Too Wild to Be Coincidence. And I just had so many things I ran into. Actually, just going to the post office from being fired with my little box of stuff from my office. And instead of going to the unemployment office, I thought I'm going to go to the post office and apply for my passport. I have $1,200. How much more could I need to see the world? So here I went with a $300 round trip ticket and what do you call this, your rail passes for Europe, and just traveled. And I got into more trouble than anybody should be allowed to get into and out of. The Lord just protected me all along the way because I was attacked by three men on the beach and got away from that. I was a, let's see, bus driver in Madrid. I was just looking out the window and trying to get down to the train station. He took me to this rural area. Nothing was around it. Locked the doors and started chasing me around the bus. And I mean, like there was that incident. Went to Rome, and I thought, now I am going to be with friends, and I am going to do this thing right with friends all around me. And I was. And you know what? There were five of us, and two were walking ahead, and then two were behind them. And there was me. I'm usually slow anyway, so I pulling up the rear, and here comes an arm, and eight Roman guys have me in a park all by themselves. And I go, how do I get out of this, God? Or I was thinking, Mom, at that time, Mom taught me how to get out of a lot of things. Hey, how did I get out? That's one of the questions. Oh, I went to Crete and lived in a cave for about 6 weeks and got into a terrible LSD trip. Absolutely frightening. It was in an earthquake in Crete. It was like the third worst in the whole world that year. And then hitchhiking away from there, I got picked up by a guy who has straight, thick glasses, short hair. I'm safe. And you know what? As soon as we got to his place and he was making me a cup of coffee before we were going to go have a hamburger, I thought, wow, that's luxury food for me. And you know what? He got busted by drugs, for having drugs, and taken off to the police station, and I was taken with him. How did I get out of that? Wow, I flew down to Israel after that because it was getting cold. I thought, well, I'm going to go south for the winter, and I went down to Israel. Flew right into the Yom Kippur War. Didn't even know a war was going on because you stay, you aren't in touch with news and what's happening in the world when you can't speak the language of the newspapers or the TVs. Anyway, surprise, surprise, I'm in the Yom Kippur War. I was there for about 6 months and flew to Turkey, and I hitchhiked across Turkey to Bulgaria and Romania and Hungary, and then across over to Great Britain. And I mean, it was just travel, travel, travel. But truth found me.
So you probably are true grit now. Me too, woman. Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about women and solo travel, and you've like really experienced it all. My goodness me, you poor thing. My goodness, I grew up in India, and they had.
Let me just tell you this. My mother was born in India,
Oh, really?
in
What?
Bombay.
I'm from Bombay. How fascinating.
Wow, it's not even Bombay anymore.
Yes.
It's Mumbai. Yeah.
A Bombay podcast where I interview people about Bombay. I'll bring you on to talk about that as well. But let's get back to women because I was like growing up and in India men do eve teasing. They'll touch you in private parts even if you're like very young, 4 years or 5 years, or you're in school, or they'd show you their private parts or whatever, which is disgusting. But someone many years when I was in America came and asked me about it. They said they met this Bangladesh guy and he did all these things. And I said, it's so unfortunate that, it's so prevalent out there and no one has come up to speak about it because a lot of women are embarrassed because it happens like this and you just didn't know how it hit you, but you've actually been through so much because it's also different cultures in different world countries, where men don't respect women and they just think that they can have whatever they want. They just
Right.
feel and I had interviewed another woman who went to Mexico and she was raped in her hotel room,
Hmm.
and the guy just came in her room, raped her and left. And she didn't even know who he was or, what was going on. And she went down to complain and it got worse, and so she said the best thing for her to do was to come back home to America, but that's why she said I
Maybe not.
don't want to go back there ever. So yeah, so I totally hear you completely, and it it is so unfortunate that you're put in a position like that, but you survived it not once, not twice, but several times. So, what advice would you give to women who are boxed into a situation that they can't get out, you know, um, or something like that happens?
Well, I have learned in my years, and really on that trip, call out to the Lord. I call out to the Lord because He protected me through all that to where I finally found Him. And that made all the difference. Oh, there's somebody here. I can call out. He not only loves me, He made me so He knows what I'm created for. I don't have to wonder what my meaning in life is. I just have to listen to Him and walk with Him each day.
Yeah.
I don't have to wonder what my purpose is. He'll lead me into it.
Yeah. My husband is a pastor. We have another podcast, which is a Christian podcast. So I'm going to invite you to come in and speak on that podcast as well. Yes, the best gift ever is Jesus and your faith. I just talked to another author who talked about faith and his journey, and he wasn't even a Christian, and he converted to Christianity, but
Wow.
he talked about Jesus as well, because there's nothing uh, bigger than your faith, and having someone there to rescue you out of a bad situation and heal you from a bad situation as well. So this book, The Truth Found Me, um, is really a journey of these 40 countries that you visited and finding your faith. um, and so let's get back to the 40 countries, and then we'll talk about faith, because we could talk all night long about. Bridget just sent me a message saying, "You and Melody go ahead and talk as long as y'all want, because y'all can
I
have
don't
this."
have one till 5:30.
That's what she said. So enjoy. So yeah, so we have time. So let's go through the 40 countries. Now, which were the ones you loved the most? And then we'll go to the other ones as well.
That's really unusual because I loved Switzerland. It's the most beautiful place in the whole world. It's gorgeous. And it's clean, and the people are, well, I want to say they're not warm. The people in Austria have it beautiful and clean, but they're warm. The people in Switzerland are kind of like, just on time. They're just
Yeah.
clean and on time. Everything is perfect. And but the uh, my favorite country, and I have a heart for it like nobody's business, Israel. And
Really? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not because it's beautiful and clean. It's not. It's not because the people are so sweet. They aren't. I don't know. It's God's heart and his love for Israel, probably. But the first time I went, I didn't even remember that was the place where Jerusalem and Bethlehem and all that. I didn't go there for that reason. I was in Greece and it was getting cold. It was October. Like I said, I flew into the Yom Kippur War. And that was right in October, November, and it was getting very cold. And I was like, I need to go south of here. Where can I go? And I found out that I could actually live on a kibbutz in Israel for 6 months through the wintertime and not have to be paying for where I'm staying. And hey, I was out of money by that time anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I've read the Bible, and I always say, if we went through so much, if Moses went through so much to get us to Israel, Israel has been, even in the Bible, there's been so much conflict and so many people taking advantage of people. And even today, I really, spiritually, it is such warfare out there. And yet it is what everybody who's been to Israel says, it's one of the most beautiful places they've ever been. And yeah,
It's
you don't
amazing place.
from Israel to be the way they are, because there's been so much conflict out there, and that must be so hard, just being there as well. So yeah, I do understand that. So what other countries now? Since your mother was born in Bombay, so Bombay is like Hollywood. It's the movie center, and every Indian movie is about Switzerland. The everybody who's falling in love and singing songs, because it's all musicals, is all shot in Switzerland. So yeah, so that's terrific that you have that great connection. I've seen James Bond and the movie with Switzerland and all the skiing and all the lifts and everything, and so yeah, it's a fantastic place. And what other
Talking about skiing, though, I decided, hey, it's July, but I'm going to go skiing. You could go skiing in Zermatt
the
and yeah, on the Matterhorn. And so I thought, hey, I'm here. I may never be here again. I'm going to do it. So I went out, went up the 7 lifts to get to the very top. It was a whiteout snowstorm up on the top of the mountain. And that was one of the scariest things I did, because after only skiing a couple of hours, and I couldn't see because I didn't have sunglasses or goggles or something to keep the snow out of my eyes. But I loved it. I mean, here I am in July in Switzerland skiing. But they said, okay, we're going to close the mountain. It's too dangerous. Everybody has to go down. But they said everybody has to go down the Italian side. And I'm like, what? My purse, my passport, my money, my shoes, because I only had ski boots on. are down in Switzerland. How can I go down to Italy and get over there? This is crazy. How do I fix this one? And anyway, you have to read the book, find out how I got down there.
Yeah, I know you can't tell all the stories. That's true. So, okay, so what were the countries that you absolutely, did not like and you wouldn't go back again?
Spain.
Really?
Well,
Okay.
that's where I got. That was one of the first countries I went to Paris, but I didn't really go to the rest of France. I just went to Paris. But I went from there down to Spain because, hey, I had 7 years of Spanish. You'd think I'd be able to manage a little bit better. I'm going to go down there where I speak the language. No, I only had enough Spanish to get in trouble. I didn't have enough Spanish to get out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So $1,200. How did you survive with so little money? How did you go around 40 countries with that much money? Yeah.
Well, you have to realize this is 1973, so money went a little bit further at that time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't eat fancy. I didn't even go into restaurants unless I had someone to eat with. I would
Yeah.
just pick up a hot dog on the side of the street. I carried my mustard. That's a real important trick. Make sure you have mustard at all times.
Yeah.
And I would pick up bags of fruit. It was summertime, so cherries, peaches, bottle of wine, loaf of bread. Hey, it's called dinner.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you got to do it, you got to do it. So that's amazing. So this book sounds fascinating. 40 countries. Now, what were the foods that you liked the most?
Really, anything anybody else brought me.
Were you ever invited to someone's home and did you
Oh
eat?
yeah, that was special, special times. Very
Yeah,
special.
yeah,
Yeah. I It started when I was actually an army brat back because I was always the new kid in school. And you go to the cafeteria and you're the new kid. There's nobody to sit with. So I always hated eating alone. Just something about it. I still don't. I still don't like it. So I wouldn't go into restaurants and order meals in while I was on the road. My favorite food, whatever it was sitting down and eating with somebody
yeah,
because
yeah.
it was the
That's
company I had.
important. Yeah, like my husband is a pastor, and when we go to India, um, even before he gets off the plane. So he's made friends in the plane, on the trip, and he gets invited to people's homes. And I was terrified because I thought, my God, what if someone kidnaps him? So I was following him all over India, and people would give us food everywhere we went and visited them and things like that. So yeah, so that's one of the things you make. So did you make any friends, any special friends in the 40 countries that you still keep in touch with?
No.
Okay. All
I
right.
really, I really didn't. People, I have my journal, and that's what I wrote my book from. Is I kept a pretty. It wasn't a detailed journal. It was basically where I was, and if someone was special to me, their name and address was I put in the back of the journal that I was keeping. But that's how I wrote my book. Was where was I, and I would just have to kind of sit quietly, like before the Lord, and say, what happened in this you know when
Now,
and I would remember the highlights, and so that's what I wrote.
I love this book. So who did you write the book for?
My daughters, for
Okay.
certainly my daughters, because I had them after I came home, and the Lord said, I want you to do something medical. I was a missionary at that time in Israel, and so I looked into going to the University of Jerusalem and just a medical type of thing in Israel. But hey, I had taken some Hebrew, and I led horseback riding tours as a guide with my Hebrew, but it usually got me more trouble than I got out again, just with because I had now a Spanish Hebrew casserole somewhere in my brain, and it would either come out one word or the other.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
went home and became a nurse. That's when I became a nurse, and then got married and had my children. And so it was for my girls that I wanted them, not after I died, to pick up this journal and wonder who in the world was this on this crazy trip, getting in all this trouble. I just put it out there. I said, and they haven't read it. My middle daughter read like the first, I don't know, 12 chapters or something. I said, do you think anybody would care about this book? You don't know when you're writing, is this interesting to anybody? Is the writing any good? You just don't know. So you kind of have to bounce it off somebody. And she came back the next morning. She said, Mom, I couldn't put it down. I couldn't go to sleep. What happened to you? I need to know what happened. It's like, well, obviously I survived because you came along.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, wow, wow. What are your daughter's ages?
Right now, there are 42, 39, and 36.
All right,
So I had them late in life. I didn't start having children until 34. I had them at 34, 37, and 41.
wow, beautiful. How lovely. So, women, this book
Yeah.
is for you. It is a special book written by a mother for her daughters and for people like you who want to travel and to be safe. And I'm sure there's some good tips in the book. And if you would like to travel, to 40 countries and do it, you can, read her book and get inspired. The Truth Found Me. Now, let's go back to the Colonel daughter story. So being a colonel's daughter must have come with a lot of pressure because, when you have somebody so magnificent as a parent, then the expectation is that you're going to be like him or. So how was that? How did you feel being a colonel's daughter?
No, I didn't know anything different, but Dad had a college degree going to West Point. My mom had a college degree being a nurse. And so it was just an expectation. That was the next step after high school. There was really
Yeah.
no thought of doing anything else. I was wanting to do it just to get out of the house. I was ready to fly and
I know.
spread my wings a little bit.
And you did. Um, and then, also then, how did, like you talked a lot about being transitioned from different schools. That must have been really hard because you made friends and then you had to leave and move to another place. So how did you cope with that as a child?
You don't know any different. You don't know. That's your life. That's just how you do it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't know any different. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So yeah, so this sounds really great. So are there any movies or any music that has inspired you or anything that you caught from the 40 countries or maybe later? Did
you
anything
know, I love Hebrew music. I mean, there's just something in me. I love it when I hear Hebrew spoken. I went back to Israel as a missionary. I took a Hebrew course and learned enough to, what do I say, get myself in trouble and not and not get out, but at least understand the Bible. I'm very fascinated by words and like their origins, especially in the Bible. That, that's real important. I love the music, just love the music. But hey, music now, I love my, Christian contemporary music. And I really, really, really wanted to put Brandon Lake's song, Graves to Gardens, in the back of my book. And I could never get a hold of the company to ask them.
no?
I had I had two scoundrels contact me saying they were Brandon Lake and they would love to give me for $5,000. They'd let me use the words in the back of my book, and I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Good for you. You did get took. Good for you. Yeah, I know nowadays, even if you dial a number wrong, you go to the wrong place and, you could meet a hacker or something. It's daunting. Yeah.
Well, I thought one of them really was Brandon Lake, and my husband's handling my emails, and he said, "Nope, this email is coming from Nigeria." And I was like, "Uh-oh."
I have a story. So I do, interviews for my podcast. And so I was corresponding, sending emails to this person, and he was like, an IT person, and we were going to have this interview. And, he sent me his LinkedIn profile. It was a real person, website was a real person. And then when I had the interview, it didn't show up. So then I went to the LinkedIn page and said, I'm supposed to be interviewing you. And the guy said, I don't know who you are. I wasn't planning to do any interview with you. So I was corresponding with somebody that was not the person that I thought he was. So yeah, you really got to be careful. It's out there everywhere. Um,
I wanted to tell you this, though, Elizabeth, is my grandfather was the sewing machine representative that sold the first sewing machine to Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh, really?
way back when.
Wow. But Mahatma Gandhi did his own weaving. So wow. That is priceless. So that's amazing. So now, yes, your mother was born in India. How did she get to India? What was that part of the
Well,
story?
I'm sure because she was born there and lived there till she was 9
So your
with
so
mom and
your
dad
grandfather was stationed in India.
in
Oh,
Bombay.
in Bombay. Wow. 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 That must have been amazing. Yeah. So that what was he doing in India? What was his
He was the Singer sewing machine representative.
Oh, that was great. Yeah. That was a long time ago. Yeah. Wow. So, thank you for this interview. I do have Elton in the background whispering to me that he knows the story too. So I'll bring him on in a minute. We just can't share the screen because we go in and out of the screen.
Oh, okay.
But
Can
I'll
I just tell you this about that?
go ahead before
It's
we end. Yes, go ahead.
yeah, there's a chapter in there about the wagon train. We traveled from San Diego to Philadelphia in 1976, and we are having a reunion in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
We're all now 70 or 80 because we were all 20 or 30 back then.
Now,
And
where
so we're having our reunion in Colorado Springs.
Okay, wow, that sounds like a fun time. Now, where are you located currently?
Paragould, Arkansas.
Arkansas. So we're
Yeah,
doing Empower America, where we're going through all 50 states. So you can be our ambassador for Arkansas. And then you can tell us all about Colorado as well. So I'll tell you all about it. I am giving you a VIP gift. And so we are having a pitch competition every month, and you're invited to that. And I'll also invite you to be our ambassador for Arkansas and since you've traveled so much, you should be part of the global one too. So I'll send you information to that too. So
awesome. Awesome.
I'd like to tell my audience about your book and why they should get it before we close out.
And it's at www.truthfoundme.com. It's launching this week.
Oh, okay.
Within the week, it will be available on Amazon. And I don't know what exactly my launch day. It may be next Wednesday.
Oh, fantastic. You need to tell me that because that's the day you need to tell everybody to write reviews on
Absolutely. You
Amazon.
need to go get your copy.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Well, thank you for watching Discover Brightside. If you enjoyed the video with me and Melody, write us a comment. If you're a solo woman traveling and have had similar experiences, we'd like to hear from you. And if you survived any kind of odd, funny situations, write it in the chat as well, and tell us how you experienced it. So thank you for watching, and we will have a lot of interviews this week. So stay tuned to watch them. Thank you.